This evening, Wortmanville residents hospitalized after Pagwa Day shooting. City Hall continues to crumble. Linden pastor hosts anti-gay march. These and other stories on tonight's edition of Headline News.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Brownsville Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Today is Monday, March the 5th, 2018, and this edition of Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. City Hall is falling apart at an alarming rate. According to one engineer, if nothing is done, the structure has only a couple years left before it collapses. Here's Wendell Jeffrey with more.
If you don't brace on it too hard, it might last another 3-4 years.
That was construction engineer and renowned contractor Marcel Gaskin protesting in front of City Hall. He described the dangerous levels of deterioration the building is experiencing. His remarks came at a time when both Mayor Patricia Chase Green and Town Clerk Royston King are saying that they need to vacate that structure.
It's crumbling, it's rotting. You can see rot in the major structural elements. It seems to be leaning, twisted. It seems to be settling towards the west.
I asked Gaskin for his professional opinion on the state of the City Hall, one of Guyana's oldest structure.
It's slowly becoming unfit for purpose because I don't think they can use the upper floor anymore. It's not safe. And it's only a matter of time before that rot extends to the first floor. And then the building will be unusable.
Who are you and what is your professional expertise in this regard?
My name is Marcel Gaskin. I'm a structural engineer. And we're currently involved in the renovation of St. George's Cathedral. We're the consulting engineers on that project. So we do have a bit of knowledge of these types of restorations.
What recommendation would you make to the City Hall?
Well, to get qualified architects on board, people with renovation experience, restoration experience, and prepare a comprehensive plan for the restoration of this building.
Would you be willing to take it on?
Me, of course. We're currently, as I said, we're currently doing St. George's Cathedral.
Do you have an idea of what something like this would cost?
I would budget a building of this nature and importance. I would say somewhere around $4 or $5 million US.
For Channel 2 Headline News, I am Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. ExxonMobil is preparing to begin drilling the Liza 5 well sometime this week. ExxonMobil's Senior Director of Public and Government Affairs, Kimberly Brassington, told a local publication on Sunday that drilling will happen soon, as the operations at Pecora have been completed. Brassington also reminded persons of the size of the offshore operations, saying, quote, "Ultimately, there will be 2 FPSOs floating offshore producing oil from the Liza field. There will likely be a 3rd FPSO floating offshore, which will produce the oil found in both Payara and Pecora." The drilling operation is scheduled for a 3-month period at the Liza 5 well site within the Stabroek Block. The drill site is approximately 108.2 miles from the coast of Guyana. One All Boys Town resident is currently recovering after being shot during Pagwa. Here's Esther Sobers with more.
All Boys Town is traditionally known as an Afro-Guyanese neighborhood. Nonetheless, during every Pagwa, the neighborhood streets are awash with music, colors, and revelers. It is usually an all-day celebration. However, for 19-year-old Travis Lykin, a father of one, the party was cut short.
I was just having a little fun on the Pagwa, and I got a little struck for some road. I shot to a fire and I was picked up on and left from to the
Lycan, a resident of Ben Street, Wortmanville, claims that he was shot at around 6 p.m. while he and his friends were playing Pagua. Police are currently seeking the shooter but have little to go on at this time. Official report states that he was the only victim of the shooting. He did not see the shooter. However, Lycan claims that he was not the only one that was shot.
But there's more than one person that they shot.
Lycan says he's grateful to be alive. Nonetheless, he has not let this incident dampen his feelings on Pagua. If you or anyone you know that may have information that can lead to the arrest of the shooter, please call the police at 911. For Channel 2 Headline News, I'm Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Today is the 70th birthday of Guyanese musician Edmund Eddie Montague Grant. Born on March 5, 1948, in Plaisance, East Coast Demerara, Grant was a founding member of The Equals, one of England's first racially integrated pop groups. He is also known for a successful solo career that includes the platinum single Electric Avenue. Happy birthday, Eddie Grant. Keep on rockin'. After the break, Pastor leads anti-gay march. For the best Creole food in town, come to Ridley's Restaurant. Taste our hot meals, fresh bread, and sweet pastries. Our spacious dining hall is free for all occasions. For reservations and more, call 226-2518 or 225-7245. We're open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wrigley's Restaurant, located at 38 Robb Street, Laceytown, between King and Wellington Streets. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Ridley's Restaurant. Tasty and healthy eating.
I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. I know who I am. Oh, I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. And you are mine.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Welcome back. A Sperrendam, East Coast Demerara man was arrested and charged for robbing an off-duty police constable. Investigations reveal that the 23-year-old peace officer was walking along Hink Street, Georgetown at about 9:15 a.m. yesterday when the suspect, armed with a pair of shears, attacked. The bandit took a cell phone, 240 Guyana dollars, and escaped. The quick-thinking policeman did not try to engage the robber. Instead, he made a thorough observation of him and promptly informed his supervisors. A short while later, a team comprised of a cadet officer went to the Starbrook Market area and arrested the suspect. He was found in possession of the victim's property as well as the instrument used in the commission of the crime. On Saturday, Pastor Nigel London led an anti-LGBT march in Georgetown. Wendell Jeffrey was there and filed this report.
An enthusiastic group of protesters marched around the city of Georgetown on Saturday afternoon. The group expressed their utter displeasure for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community through shouts and poster board displays.
Man with man,
Abomination!
woman with woman,
Abomination!
woman with girls,
Abomination!
woman with woman,
Abomination!
man with man.
Abomination!
Sodomy is illegal. Sodomy is illegal.
protest was led by the controversial Linden pastor, Nigel London. He is calling on the government to enforce the laws and the books regarding homosexuality. According to Article 354 of the laws of Guyana, everyone who commits sodomy, either with a human being or another living creature, shall be guilty of a felony and liable to imprisonment for life.
And they said they want to have gender-neutral bathroom. Some reality that you don't know that. All these stores, they said, they wanted to go through the whole country, not just UG. So the churches, the mosques, the schools in the whole country, they're pushing for gender-neutral bathrooms, meaning man and woman can go in the same bathroom together. We resist that. We are against it. Yes, we are. We are against it. We are against it, bro. We refuse for sodomites to push their agenda on this nation.
The Ministry of Social Protection is currently funding a gender policy initiative that will include tolerance for the LGBT community. There is also a petition at the University of Guyana for the establishment of gender-neutral washrooms on the campus. Pastor London is of the opinion that eventually the scope of that petition will extend to facilities nationwide. If such a petition is successful, all public buildings, private companies, and even places of worship may be compelled to provide gender-neutral facilities. It's a thought that deeply disturbs London.
According to our constitution, we are a democratic nation, and it is a majority of the nation's rules, not a few. And so I'm prepared to go to the highest level or office in this country to ensure that the justice system works the way it should. My focus is not political in any way. I want the politicians to know that you are in office, or they're in office based on the will of the people. And they can also be removed from office based on the will of the people. So if we're going to have any cause to seek to touch a law that's as serious as that of the Criminal Offences Act, Article 351 and 354, buggery and sodomy, then at least the people have something to say about it. Don't promise us a referendum and then withdraw it because a minority says they don't want a referendum. That is unjust and it's unfair, democratically speaking. And I'm just glad to see people who have a like mind and who are willing to come to say that they are against this behavior, especially regarding the statement by Otis Pearson that he likes the boys. That one has got me very, very concerned. The Minister of Education, Nicolette Henry, she was invited by SACID and the British High Commission to an event for, I think it's purple, they were the color purple that day. And she said that LGBTQ is not an anomaly against nature. And I had an issue with that statement, and many persons did, because in essence our Minister of Education is saying that to be a transgender is normal. I had cause in Linden to meet her and to speak with her at a forum for parents and ask her whether this was her personal view or it would be policy of the Ministry of Education. She refused to answer that question, and that is concerning to me. We still have a constitution to uphold, not the personal will of the president or the opinion of the president. It's the constitution. The constitution is very clear that we have a law that says that buggery is a felony.
Pastor London was sued by a leading organization within the LGBT community in Guyana. The case is currently before the court. For Channel 2 Headline News, I am Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. The National Industrial and Commercial Investments Limited recently announced that 100 cane cutters were contracted to harvest cane at the former Gaisuco Rose Hall estate. Rose Hall was one of the estates shuttered by Gaisuco management at the end of 2017. Initial surveys revealed that Gaisuco had left a sugarcane crop in the ground that was going to be ready for harvesting. The sugarcane in the ground at Rose Hall represented a significant value that would be lost if not harvested. The sugarcane at Rose Hall also represented an opportunity for the SPU, Special Purposes Unit, to produce molasses to help meet the local demand in 2018. The sugarcane harvested at Rose Hall would be taken to Gaisuco's Albion factory for crushing. The cane harvesters who commenced work this week are expected to harvest 2,300 hectares. The SPU will be paying the contracted harvesters and will recoup these funds from the molasses sales afterwards. The Rose Hall estate also has 4,300 hectares of sugarcane in the field for the second crop of 2018. Over the weekend, a pensioner was struck and killed by a minibus. Esther Sobers reports.
Yesterday, 87-year-old Linda Rodriguez from Melanie East Coast, Narara was killed after being struck by a minibus. According to police, the minibus was driven by 42-year-old Nar Singh Jagar of Supply Mahaika. The minibus registration number BKK6714 was proceeding west along the southern driving lane when Rodriguez was standing on the northern side. As it approached, Rodriguez began to cross the road from the north to the south. At approximately 6 a.m., the minibus struck the pensioner. Rodriguez sustained head injuries and lost consciousness as a result of the collision. She was taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital by a public-spirited person. However, she was pronounced dead on arrival. Jagar was arrested and was not found to be under the influence of alcohol. Nonetheless, police investigations are ongoing. For Channel 2 Headline News, I'm Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Join us after the break for your regional news, your international news, and more. Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. I know who I am. Oh, I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. And you are mine.
For the best Creole food in town, come to Ridley's Restaurant. Taste our hot meals, fresh bread, and sweet pastries. Our spacious dining hall is free for all occasions. For reservations and more, call 226-2518 or 225-7245. We're open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wrigley's Restaurant, located at 38 Robb Street, Laceytown, between King and Wellington Streets. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Ridley's Restaurant. Tasty and healthy eating. Welcome back. And here's BB Backus with today's regional and international news.
This morning, the Barbados Water Authority's Wastewater Division has started dye testing on the first of 4 proposed injection wells. The system is designed to allow the discharge of pre-treated sewage into deep underground wells. The testing requested by environmental and health authorities uses a green fluorescent dye to determine if the well field will leak into the island's groundwater. This redirection of the island's sewage is to allow remedial work to be carried out on the South Coast Sewage Network. Jamaican economist Dr. Damian King expressed concerns that the threat of United States President Donald Trump to impose tariffs on imports of steel and alumina will make countries poorer. The tariffs would affect Jamaica and other alumina exporting countries if the threat is realized. President Trump has signaled his intentions to levy a tariff of 25% on steel and 10% on alumina imports in the U.S. The warning comes amidst effort in Jamaica to boost alumina exports to countries and in turn grow the mining sector. And in Trinidad and Tobago, Government Senator Avinash Singh was hospitalized after being stung by over 100 bees on Saturday. Singh, who is the parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries, was attacked while plowing his land in Chaguanas. Health Minister Terence Dial Singh told reporters that Singh was expected to remain at the medical facility for another 24 to 48 hours for treatment and observation. And internationally, on Monday, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un met with senior South Korean delegates. This is the first time officials from Seoul have met with him since taking office in 2011. Relations with the Koreans have warmed following last month's Olympics in South Korea. During the 2-day visit, South Korean groups will focus on establishing conditions for talks aimed at getting rid of North's nuclear weapons as well as improving dialogues between the U.S. and Pyongyang. China's annual meetings of the national legislatures are opening in Beijing this week. This year, Parliament is expected to approve major constitutional changes that will give more power to President Xi Jinping. It is also expected to drop the nation's two-term presidential limit. The dropping of this limit could open the way to allow President Xi Jinping to stay in power for life. And Syrian Civil Defense said on Friday that as many as 674 civilians have been killed since the Syrian government, aided by Russia, launched an air offensive on the Damascus suburb of Eastern Ghouta on February 18th. Eastern Ghouta, home to nearly 400,000 people, has been besieged by the Syrian government since opposition groups took control of the area in mid-2013. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, Bibi Bacchus.
Thanks, Bibi. Now for your 7-day weather forecast. Here's this week's bridge retraction schedule and today's foreign currency exchange rates. And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook and YouTube. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast, and Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from this newscast, saying thank you for welcoming us into your homes, and now we'll leave you with the musical stylings of Guyana's own Eddie Grant.
Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Working so hard like a soldier, can't afford a thing on TV. Deep in my heart I abhor ya, can't get food Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh Lord, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue.